Góðan daginn. Hi, and welcome to Icelandic for Foreigners. In this episode, we're going to be talking about another preposition of time, í, which is how we're going to talk about how long something lasts for. In English, we use the word for. For example, I read for 5 minutes. All right, so here are the three main points that we need to learn about the preposition í. It's used to indicate how long an action lasts. It's followed by something in the accusative, either a number or an adjective or a unit of time. It can be used when we're talking about the past, the present, or the future, and I'll show you an example of each of those on this next slide. So an example of using it in the past would be the sentence, Ég var í Spáni í 2 vikur. That would translate to, I was in Spain for 2 weeks. An example of present tense, or in this case present perfect tense, Ég búinn að vera hér í 2 daga. I have been here for 2 days. And an example of future tense, Ég ætla að vinna í 8 klukkutíma. I am going to work for 8 hours. So we see that í can be used when we're talking about something in the past or in the future or present tense. A quick note about prepositional phrases and where they go in the sentence. Now in Icelandic, it's often that we'll have a subject and a verb and an object in an Icelandic sentence. So one of the options for a prepositional phrase, like an í phrase, is to have it after that. For example, Hún spilaði fótbolta í 2 tíma. She played football, or soccer, for 2 hours. Now the other option is to have it at the beginning of the sentence, where we're going to start with the prepositional phrase. But we need to remember that when we do that, we reverse the order of the verb and the subject. So our sentence would be Í 2 tíma spilaði hún fótbolta. For 2 hours, she played football. And there's not a huge difference in meaning between these two sentences. One of them just is emphasizing the fact that it was for 2 hours. That's the second example. All right, let's talk about what we put after the í. Often we'll use an accusative noun, a unit of time. So I'm going to give you the nominative forms for each of them, and then I'll give you the accusative forms that you'll use. So we're probably going to use one of these. Sekunda, meaning second. Minuta, minute. Klukkutími, hour. Dagur, day. Vika, week. Mánuður, month. And ár, year. Now our accusative singular form that we would use if we wanted to say for 1 second or for 1 hour, we're going to use sekundu, mínútu, klukkutíma, dag, viku, mánuð, or ár. These are our singular accusative forms. The accusative plural forms are sekundur, mínútur, klukkutíma, daga, vikur, mánuði, and ár. These are the forms of the nouns that are going to come after í, because it's always followed by accusative when we're using it in this meaning. All right, we'll also need some accusative numbers. Unfortunately, numbers in Icelandic are quite complicated, and we need to learn the accusative forms for masculine, feminine, and neuter. So let's talk about masculine first. The accusative masculine word for 1 is eighth. So we'll use that with klukkutíma, dag, and mánuð. So if we wanted to say for 1 hour, or for 1 day, or for 1 month. The masculine accusative numbers for 2, 3, and 4 are tvo, þrjá, and fjóra. So we're going to use those with klukkutíma, daga, and mánuði. So an example here is í þrjá daga would be for 3 days. All right, let's talk about the feminine numbers. The accusative feminine word for 1 is eina. So we're going to use that with sekundu, mínútu, and viku. The feminine accusative numbers for 2, 3, and 4 are tvær, þrjár, and fjórar. So we're going to use these with sekundur, mínútur, and vikur. So one example would be í eina sekundu would be for 1 second. All right, let's talk about the neuter accusative numbers. The word for 1 is eitt. So we would say í eitt ár for 1 year. The words for 2, 3, and 4 are tvö, þrjú, and fjögur. And we'll also use those with ár, because that's the plural form too. So an example, í tvö ár, í eitt ár, í fjögur ár. As far as the numbers beyond 4, Icelandic only has one form for all of these numbers that you see here on the screen. Once you get up to 21 or 22 or 23 or 24, then we need to use those ones that we saw on the previous slide. But all the ones between there, you don't need to worry about bending them. So 21 in this case would be 21 or 21 or 21. And the same thing for 22 and 23 and 24, or 31 and 32 and 33 and 34. But once you get to 25, for example, you just say 25. You don't need to worry about bending it. All right, let's talk about some of the accusative adjectives you might use. You might use marka, markar, and mörk. These are the masculine, feminine, and neuter accusative forms, respectively. Also, nokkra, nokkrar, and nokkur. So you could say, for example, I marga daga, for many days, or I nokkra daga, for a few days. I margar vikur, or I nokkrar vikur, many weeks, or a few weeks. I mörg ár, for many years, or I nokkur ár, for a few years. Another couple accusative adjectives that you could use are langan, lanka, and langt, or stuttan, stutta, and stutt, and heilan, heila, and heilt. So langan means long, stuttan means short, and heilan means whole. So some examples, you might say I langan tíma, for a long time, or I stuttan tíma, for a short time, or I heila viku, for a whole week. The last one I'd like to talk about is hálvan, hálva, and hálft, which means for half a period of time. So you might say, for example, I hálva viku, for half a week, or I hálft ár, for half a year. All right, I know that there was a lot of material in this video, especially with all the different forms of the numbers and the nouns. Use this as an excuse to motivate you to start learning those bendings if you haven't already, because the sooner that you get those bendings down, the sooner that you can stop worrying about them and you can start worrying about your phrasing and your vocabulary and your pronunciation and things like that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave comments or questions below and stay posted for more videos. Tack! Bless, bless.